Hey, Bob, can you hear us? Oh, where's the remote? Sorry, we're just getting set up. Give us 1 second. Okay, can you hear us? Is the volume up on the TV?
Is it on your computer too? Well, yeah, we just heard it.
Can you get the, yeah, Bob? Get the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, great. I think this Teams that kind of minimizes thing. Did Vignesh get in? It looks like he might be in.
Yes.
Oh,
I muted him.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Thanks for coming on, guys. Try to make this in an hour. I have, as usual, probably too much to get through, but I'd like to see if we can get through it. Okay. You guys, can everybody see my screen? We ready to get going? Everyone there? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Everyone's good then. I'll get started and see if I can get this to go. So these are the things that we're going to be discussing today. Just the normal monthly calls, just going through all the metrics, rankings, Google Ads. We're going to discuss possible make decisions and planning if that's approved for SEO CRO Sprint. We're going to talk about that. The HubSpot CRM, discuss steps on that if that's also approved. Get where we are on that. We want to talk about AI search optimization. I think Christina was going to be on the call, and so we're going to discuss some of that. And we also have so talk about the PR, talk about the blog for that, and also the glossary. We talked about that last month and sent that to the team, so we'll kind of review those details today. And then last thing would be a short discussion with Vignesh, and just kind of figure out where we are with that and the next steps, and kind of go, maybe set up a meeting with him separately, to kind of talk about details, right? So that's just the thought that I had for that part at the end. Any questions on that, or ready to roll in?
Yeah, we can get started.
Great. Okay. So first thing is going to be just looking at the just looking at last month overall, and everything's up, which is to be expected. January over December with the holidays, so we're having some big big jumps on traffic, which is normal. This is all very, very normal. We are going to focus on key events a little bit. That's also just a quick discussion. We had a little bit of discussion about that last week, and so we'll touch on that a little bit more on the key events. Okay. And I probably don't need to get into the details on this one, but so let's just maybe just give it a quick overview. So we had 1.17 sessions. Google rankings were up, Bing rankings up, Google Ads clicks was also improved. Google Ads conversions were strong following the holiday. We noticed that we had a lot of Facebook ad clicks. And then just mentioning again the key events being this is I went and pulled out the actual number, and so it's 58%, but we do know that some of that's inflated, and we talked about that last week, and we're going to work to get that that corrected moving forward. Just so it's very important that we get that we get these key events, that we can kind of have a metric a good benchmark, right? So we need to get that benchmark in some real numbers, okay? Google Business Profile 4.5 that's with our reviews, right? Google across all locations, okay? If no questions or comments, I will keep going. We get it?
Yep.
Okay. Just moving along. So internet marketing, just to, we can get into the details. I think I might have a lot of it here that we can go out and look at it if we want. But again, total month over month, 27%. Unique visitors were up. Average daily visitors were up. And this is month over month. I do want to show the team something here pretty soon about year over year, which is different than we're seeing a lot of up numbers here. And there are some down numbers that I want the team to, that I want to explain to the team. And I want the team to, understand why and things that we might, that we will be hopefully working on to, mitigate any issues. So we're kind of looking at some up right here, month over month, right? Expected. Average daily visitors, unique visitors, organic, direct, referral, everything's up, advertising up, paid social up. Oops. One last thing, ChatGPT was even up, AI traffic services. So let's talk about year over year. So this is something that I want to, the things that are yellow highlights are the things that I want to bring to the team's attention, okay? And so for instance, if we look at, year over year, our total sessions for January 2026 versus January 2025, they're down 6.7%. Okay, total sessions compared to last year. Our unique visitors are down 17%. We had 461 this time. We had 556 last year on unique. New visitors down, not as much as unique visitors, but new visitors are still down from, a little amount, 384 versus 397. Average daily visitors also down. We were, hitting that 40,000 number. If we remember, that was our goal, and we were hitting that. We're not hitting that anymore. So we want to pay attention to that. So these are metrics that we're going to continue to monitor. And, part of the thing that we're learning in the things in the top left, what's happening is a lot of AI overview traffic that used to just go, last year people would look for something. I think we all can experience this. You'd look for something, you're going to get a lot of blue links that you could click on, and maybe MSI can kind of go to it, right? But now the AI overviews, everybody's in Google, you kind of see what's going on, right? When you're looking, and it's kind of giving that. So that kind of makes sense that MSI is, getting less of these visitors, right? But the visitors that we are getting are motivated, are actually, kind of going around they're kind of going around that overview to find us. So actually, you could consider them actually being more qualified visitors. Okay. One thing to note that isn't highlighted on the left column is organic search is up. Okay, so we had 587,000 visits versus 509 last year. So that is an improvement. But as you kind of make sense, as I described it, the sessions and the visitors are down, but people seeing it and coming to the site organically is up. So it's a little bit of a I don't know what's the word for that, but it's an oddity. Let's just call it that. Okay. Organic Bing's up, organic Yahoo's up. So all of our organic traffic's kind of doing what we want it to do, right? But we're also dealing with this AI overviews. And any questions on the left side column, the thing that I just mentioned? So far, so clear? Okay, great.
Hey, Bob, I see on the right, we see in the spirit of time, I see it. I have a question on the right. How come
Go
you
ahead.
didn't highlight Google ad traffic being down 60%?
So that was there's a change. Last year we were, not focused on local. We were doing a lot of product, local, doing a little bit of local, more specific, kind of focusing more on conversions too, kind of really dialing in. So I would say that the Google Ads is more effective this year than it was last year, even though it had less traffic, and how Google Ads is being used and how we're counting the metrics. We are going to get less traffic, and then also it's I think we're doing fine in that. One thing to note though, and I do have that mentioned later in the call, is we're down a little bit. We're not spending the full budget, and I am addressing that in this later on. But as far as conversions, we can go back and look at the metrics. I could be wrong, but I would assume that our conversions are significantly higher in Google Ads, and we could probably look at that. I could probably send something like that on after the call just to see. But I think we're doing fine there. Okay. Anything else on that, Al?
No, that's fine.
Okay. And then Instagram, Facebook, we talked about that, and so we'll continue to talk about how that looks, right? Maybe just keep an eye on that. So make sure that it's valuable for MSI. Keyword ranking, we don't have to get into it too much, but we did have last month, we had improvements, which probably aligns with Google Organic. Simple average was down 6%, which everyone remember, keyword rankings is the only thing that going down is a positive thing. When we see a downward arrow, you're always concerned. But with keyword rankings, you're happy because that means you're closer. Your average of your keywords are closer to the top, 6% closer. It's 19.58 versus 20.83, right? Average of the keywords with over 5,000 searches is closer to the top, 4.7. Weighted average, the things that we probably need to look at that formula again, but it was a formula that Root put together a while ago, but it's up as well. So we just kind of kept that formula he gave us. But all metrics are trending in the right direction for keywords. So I don't think we have to talk about it much with so many other things that we have to discuss. Google Ads from December, we did have improved clicks, impressions, conversions, store visits, phone calls. All of this is, it maybe seems to be bigger than you might expect, that I would expect some of these numbers. But they are definitely going to be higher than December, right? Cost per click, conversion rate, total spend. Okay, that was up. We had a nice amount of store visits as well for January. So one of the higher numbers. Okay, and this was, that doesn't. Oh, that's an old. I do that sometimes. I forget. Just leave the screenshot in there. Okay, that shows the metrics better, kind of what was improved, aligning more with the content there. And so, yeah, I do have, I think I might have it on the next slide or two, but I do want to talk about local. If I don't see it on the next slide, I'll try to remember to, I want to make sure I cover that before we leave Google Ads. Okay, let me go back to, get out of here, back to PowerPoint. Okay. Let's kind of get into this spreadsheet, which is, I think, helpful. Okay. Let's see. We had display that came back. We were able to spend on the get the display going. We had 1.4 million impressions and 2,000 clicks. So getting a lot of exposure for those display ads. Here they are, a little bit of a breakdown. That anyhow. Here's the that's display. Here is demand gen, what we had here. We'll get into details in a minute. So this was the impressions clicks on demand gen, impression clicks on display, performance max local. Okay. So one thing that I highlighted in red. So this is what I wanted to discuss. So notice this, that we're underspending and we need to get that up. Found a setting that we want to go in and adjust. So we're going to go into each of the campaigns and lower a metric called return on ad spend. Call that ROAS. So something that's a setting that we're going to change to try to get this to spend fully. What Google's saying is we're a little bit too restricted on that ROAS, return on ad spend. So we're going to try to loosen that a little bit to get that to fully spend our local campaign budgets. Okay, so that but we still had a reasonable amount of store visits, get directions, phone calls. That hopefully with the with this ROAS change that we're going to be working on, that would improve. We probably won't see much. We won't notice it much in February. We still have to implement it. I wanted to mention it in this call, and then we'll start implementing it. So it'll be in, let's say, half the month, hopefully. We'll plan to get it by early next week. And then we'll maybe see a little bit of improvement in starting to get this, but hopefully in following month. I can't believe we're talking about March already. My goodness. In March, then we should see hopefully we can see that start getting up to that proposed budget spend. I can go into the details on January. Any questions so far on this? Comments?
What happens?
So can you clarify what happens if we do the ROAS?
What it's going to do, it's going to, it's going to make it less restrictive, like the, and it's like it's kind of a complex formula. How ROAS is calculated. It almost might be better just to Google it and ask AI mode and let it explain it to you, because it is, and you could ask that question there, Sharita, and it would tell you, because I could try to explain it and I'm going to butcher it, but I'm making it less restrictive. It's a metric that's compared to like the current return on ad spend that we're getting and lowering it. And it makes, it's going to make more of an audience see it. It's a little bit of a technical thing for me to explain, but I think it'd be easier if anybody just wanted to Google it in AI mode.
Okay, so you said make more of the audience see it. So would that increase impressions then?
Yeah, that would be the goal, to increase everything across. It's going to increase cost, impressions, clicks. We should get more store visits, directions, phone calls, etc.
Okay, so we'll look into it on our end too.
Okay. Let me know if I can submit that to get that in. So that's the intention. So should I wait for an email before I make that change?
Yeah, we'll get back to you on it. Yeah, because we need to do some research on it. We're still not quite clear on what it will do.
Yeah, I can send an email of just basically to the team, so no one has to and then just somebody could reply that we can implement that. Okay.
Thanks.
Let's see, but that's from Google telling us what we need to do, just so to get this thing rolling. Let's see, January. This is yeah. So trying to one thing that we're noticing is these costs and not spending our budget, and want to get that get everything kind of improving. So this is but yeah, and then there's the difference of not doing the full spend, store visits, get directions, phone calls, conversions, and hopefully with the changes that we can start getting the kind of improving that. Let's move on. So the Google Ads assets refresh. So Jess and Kiama submitted that. So the product campaigns were completed on February 4th. Local campaigns implemented the 9th, a couple days ago. And so we'll revisit the refresh that was as discussed in April. So we have it for May. So we'll start talking about that. Let's see. So Google Ads, just so the team's clear, we talked, I think I know that Jess, Jess approved this. So the plan is we're doing A/B testing on the ads. So we have room scenes that we're using. And so this is what that looks like. And then we kept the existing showroom scenes. And so what's going to happen here is so what the campaign will actually select what works best, and we can actually look to see which one is working the best. For these types of local campaigns, do we want to show showroom scenes? Do we want to show room scenes? So this is a little bit of a test. And as I was mentioning to Jess and Kiama, that we won't have to fix anything. Google will automatically show what's working best. So we should be, and we'll be able to look at that. We could talk about this a little bit more, but I wanted to give the team an example of what that's going to look like. Okay. So that's it on Google Ads. If no questions on that, then we'll kind of move into the next thing. Everyone good on Google?
Yeah, we can keep going.
Okay. So next thing, discussing the conversion rate optimization for the collection pages, and then also the HubSpot CRM, starting getting the team's thought with what we talked about last week, which is the SEO CRO sprint, kind of implementing, producing 5 SEO CRO updates, kind of prepping that, figuring, working, getting that off. I think I might have had that would look like. Yeah, reviewing AI recommendations, creating rough draft of the merged CRO SEO recommendations, getting that draft to the web team to review, just make edits if simple, kind of move that on for SEO tech to make technical SEO, items that will be determined, but I know it's going to be meta titles, alt tags, schema code, etc. And then final version would be moved off to the programming team, and then trying to get this going quickly, working on our pages that we're close on, which would be starting with keywords ranked 10 to 15, including luxury vinyl collections, and then move on to other important collections. And the goal would, if we could do 5 a year, I think there's about 250 collection pages, approximately 200 different collections there's a lot of collection pages on the site. But kind of just going through and make sure these things are working. And there's also something in addition to that I'll talk about at the end of the call that can be layered in here, is also making sure that every collection page is established for really working well for AI overviews and being found in AI. So that's something there's a new thing that's kind of being rolled out by Google literally yesterday that I do have at the end of this call. But if we can optimize these and work on them, at the same time, we can make sure that every collection is set up for AI. So one, to get the team's, thoughts on this. Do we want to move forward with this sprint, CRO, SEO, and AI SEO for all collection pages? And I'll let the team comment. Al or Sharita, Jess?
Vic Nash, I actually want to see if we can get his thoughts on this.
Get whose thought?
Vic Nash.
Vic Nash? Sure, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Robert. Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, nice to meet you, Vic Nash.
Nice to meet you, Robert. So actually, I have a quick question here. In terms of optimizing our collection pages for AI overview, so what are the plans you are having to do it? Like how you will be optimizing the for our collection page to be displayed for AI overview queries?
I have a plan at the just at the end of the call, not technical, but not I can discuss it technical, but I have a part that's being implemented, what Google is looking for, and also basically getting ready for this is going to help AI overviews. We're going to get going back to this schema is going to help the AI overviews. But the other thing that I want to talk about at the end is also prepping these pages for AI agents. That there are steps that we can take to include in here that these pages are ready for AI agents. So AI overviews will be taken care of a schema, and then AI agents, which is going to be coming on. It's already starting to come on hard, and people are going to be searching with AI agents to get things done. And then MSI has the opportunity to be the kind of the leading on that. We get all these collection pages optimized, schema, everything with new content that needs to be updated on. A lot of these pages, it's old. It needs to be optimized all the way around. Adding schema, and then also adding some new type of schema to make sure that the pages are all set up for that we have conversions, and that we're also set up for agents. So that's is the next step. Basically, everything AI overview, AI agents. So it would be a good time for MSI to make this move as a leader in surfaces. And so it's going to cover all the bases: AI overview, SEO, and agentic AI. And I do have a slide on that at the very end of the call.
Okay.
Is that
so if I'm not wrong, so you're going to optimize the existing description and existing title description and the alt text and the schemas to be updated, which will help you to started ranking in AI overview, correct?
That's one thing, yes, and that would be something that would be happening on your side. What I'm working on the front, on the top, like push to review AI gen. So we're looking at CRO, like conversion rate optimization, like things that we want to start seeing on these collection pages where people can, order samples, can find a dealer, can go to a showroom, right? So we want to maybe connect more of this in the CRO, and then also making sure that SEO is being covered on every page. So I would create a draft on what the CRO is recommending and SEO recommendations from on page, so to speak, and then kind of getting that organized, like what this page would look like. Sharita, I've been doing this with MSI for a while. So we would get that ready, like we just did for brick tile as an example, and then give that off to Sharita's team to do the layout, kind of make it look how she wants it to look, right? Kind of get that update done. Then the next thing that we would do would be to work with you, Vignesh. You would take it, like you're going to get a finalized page of what what needs to be done, and then you're going to take it and do all of the back end SEO on it. And we would have 5 of those. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll take this concept and connect with Big Nash on it and figure out how we want to move forward. And if we, choose to include certain collections or the top 10 to 15. So we'll kind of think through that more on our end and then circle back.
Okay. Okay. Let me know on that. Okay, great. Next, you would start with the higher ranked keywords, including luxury vinyl, other important collection pages, and then eventually I think everything should be and all the collection pages should be optimized for AI overviews, kind of getting that in, all schema on them. And and then I need to talk, I'll talk to Vignesh as well. I'll talk to him at the end, but we need to kind of go through some of those things, making sure what's been done so far and what needs to be done on that. But it'll also tie into what's decided here if we can move forward. But I think that the AI agentic is going to be pretty necessary. These are all the keywords that MSI ranks well on, and that we could, these ones would be definitely pages that should be optimized and updated for CRO SEO. Okay. We talked about segmenting the luxury vinyl collection pages. That needs to be done as well. Okay. And then we would, after that, then we go and identify important collection pages after we, Kinsey, some of these that are important, wood looks, that sort of thing. Next, let's talk about HubSpot CRM. So at this stage, we kind of went through and had demos. And so just wanted to get the team's, thoughts, kind of, no decision has been, affirmative or negative. So just try to get that. Do we want to move forward with the next step would be looking at the cost, and, the cost has already been brought up last week, but getting a team decision. Do we want to move forward with this? What's the team's thought on the CRM?
Hey, Bob. So based on the discussion you and I had and more research that I did, I do think that HubSpot is the best decision to make. So we all do agree that we should move forward with it. Right now, we're just looking at pretty much what the next steps will be like with everyone on the team and you, and just what that looks like.
Basically, we need to talk our team and decide, what parts we want to use you to help us with, what parts are we going to do. So we need to discuss. We haven't had a chance because it's a pretty busy time of year with
trade show season,
but we haven't had a chance to talk about the execution part and who's going to do what. So we're in agreement with you.
Go ahead.
And no, I'm just saying we're in agreement after the research that you did, Tiama did, that HubSpot is the right partner, and based on the analytics and based on their forward thinking, we just got to go through and figure out who's going to do what. We haven't had time to do that.
Yeah, and then what I would, so next steps, Sal. Next steps, pricing, implement the estimates. Formal HubSpot proposal can be, we can get that going when you're ready. But then the next step would be probably conduct an initial meeting, and we can go through I have all the details of everything that's going to be needed. And then, we could kind of just go through and discuss it. As everyone kind of stands is, my goal is to help as much as I can, and put no pressure on the team, but basically come to the team with okay, how's this, right? Get your feedback, go implement it, and then come back with things for you to look at, right? And then get that implemented on our side with, so we'll have, Push will be managing, helping you manage your implementation and kind of going through, which channel partners do you want to target? And then we'll all start looking at, we'll bring in, a team that I have that will be talking about what are the steps that they have to take that how we want to lead score them, right? And then maybe notifications that you'll want to send off to your team, right? So we can have what I would like to do is have an initial discussion with everyone here on the call that's involved it'll be involved on HubSpot. And then next on item number 4 on my screen, meet with a HubSpot team, and then we'll plan implementation, and then we can give them the full scope and then just start initiating, right? But the MSI and Push, we should review all the scope together, and then we could record a call and say, all right, Bob, you're doing this, and or we're doing it, right? And I was planning on that MSI would be doing all the things I thought that would fit with MSI without too much extra work, right? Would be done by MSI, and then I could handle some of the heavy lifting, so to speak, or some of the ancillary items. So, but that would be the next step. That makes sense to everyone?
Okay. So this is helpful since we have a general idea of what you're thinking. So we'll come back internally and we'll try to follow up with you, say the week of February 23rd, sometime
Sure.
that week, since next week is trade show.
Yeah, February 23rd. Maybe y'all just put out a calendar invite, and then maybe we could just spend an hour or so going through the scope and then discuss on requirements and details, kind of get into it.
So we'll send an invite for that week.
Okay, perfect.
Just to make sure we're ready. So just be on the lookout.
Okay, that sounds awesome, Sharita. Thank you. So that's HubSpot. We'll get into a lot of this phases and all this discussion, which is in the deck. Anybody wants to look at it. Training, who's going to get trained? We'll be talking about all that, right? Any vendors, Porchlight, that if they're managing the email, I don't know who is, then that person would want to get them trained. Okay, so we'll have all that set up and getting everything going. Figuring out reporting. These are things we'll go through in that call. Okay, moving on. Next, AI search optimization. Okay, so we are moving on different ways to make sure, back to Vignesh, on the on-page work that we're doing to make sure that MSI is achieving top brand status in generative engine search optimization. GEO is called sometimes, right? Or AI SEO, basically same thing. Is Christina, are you there?
Yep, she's with us.
Awesome. Christina, this is the part for you that we talked about this last week, and just thought it'd be a great idea to have you on, which I think it's great. And so I want to just mention it again, and some things for you to be aware of. So let me get started. So this was last time we talked about basically when we're looking at responses on AI overviews and looking at brands, then MSI does not do as well as they should, per se. Like, what is the best LVP flooring? And we could say top rated brands include Shaw Floors, Cortec, Armstrong, and Lifeproof. Okay. And what we want is when we talk about the best brands for LVP or for Quartz or for any of other MSI's brands, then we want to make sure that MSI is in the conversation, right? So what we want to do is achieve top brand status, okay, for core products, countertops, flooring. We'll talk about that. So we've already been working on these things on the, on the blogs. We want to start doing tables. We've added these call outs and things that we've been doing that are already helpful, right? And So we're also implementing a lot of FAQs on the sites, and key takeaways. We've added that. Christine, I want to make sure that you're aware of. You're going to start seeing these coming in from Leanne that has the key takeaways and the FAQs. If you haven't received any yet, you will be receiving them in the next week that will have key takeaways at the top and FAQs at the bottom, okay? And that is another AI overview strategy for the blogs that we implemented, okay? And this is example what it looks like. We did a demo and I showed this to the team last week, but I left it in so I could show it to you what it's going to look like on the actual blog. And there's at the top the key takeaways and the frequently asked questions. Okay. Next is going to be another thing that I think would be helpful for this initiative is off-page signals. To be a top brand, you need to be talked about by third party, not just, and it's actually something that we can talk about on our own site, something that I didn't put into this presentation, but it is something that we can consider even talking about other brands on our site, but we'll get into that on another call. But right now, what I think would be a good strategy would be like a comparison of Quartz, comparison of LVP, comparing the brands, right? And almost like a table, like some sort of chart, however you want to do it as the PR manager, right? And like what they're good for. I can I know you can kind of figure it out. I'm happy to just give it a quick look if you want a second set of eyes to take a look at it. But we need to be mentioned with the other brands, and we have to be talking. We can't be talking to ourselves, better or worse than anybody else, right? And they can't be talking better or worse about us, right? Obviously, but we want to be informative. Like why MSI? What do we do, right? What do they do? Just the facts, right? MSI has nationwide, right? And we're it better than I can explain it. But why MSI's what makes MSI different? What makes Shaw us? What's Shaw? How is Shaw? Okay, describe them the same way. Who are they, right? And all the brands in that channel. You'd probably take I would say you'd probably take, the 4 top brands, and MSI need, obviously MSI one of the 4. Does that make sense?
Yes. So we're thinking as far as like the comparison as it relates to the website, we're going to continue to kind of stay away from that. We do agree that we should continue to mention like why MSI for luxury bridal, right? Incorporating that type of information on our product pages and on our collection pages. So we'll continue to do that. And then as far as the PR outreach, we are currently in different articles like Floor Covering Weekly, where we're compared, or not really compared, but included in articles where MSI is a part of the conversation, Shaw, and a few other companies from the industry. So we'll continue to kind of take that approach. But as far as comparison on the website, I think that's something that we all pretty much agree we want to stay away from.
And
But Bob,
and then go ahead, Al.
Besides, so how else can we get our brand mentioned? PR outreach, what else?
Outreach is great. Also, as far as I understand the team's hesitancy to not mention brands on the site, and but what I would ask you to do is to take this slide and take it out to AI and tell them what you're trying to do, and then see what it says about, and ask it about putting it on your own website, and then see what it tells you. And it's going to disagree with you, I'll just tell you that. Okay, because we all think the same way, right? But what AI told me on this topic is you're already being discussed. The other brands are already being discussed. Shaw's already, you're not building up Shaw. You're not building up, whoever else, Cortec, when we're talking about those types of products, right? But why, right? Why MSI? What do we have? So that's just it. But think about it. That doesn't have to be done, but it is the one thing because I've researched this, so I can discuss it with you like I'm doing now. And then, do we have to? Should we? And then they say we should. Okay. I'll let the team make that decision. But to Al's question, that's another thing is you would, that you would do the PR outreach on page signals as well, which is what the team's leaning against right now. But we can make it so we can make it remember how we're doing this with posts where we backdate it, right? So the only one that's going to see it is the AI engines. Nobody else will. You have to go find it, right? And you can't find it unless you know that's there. We all know that page is on the blog, but nobody else would know, would be able to find it. But it would give us those signals. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. So that's it for third-party type. And then back to one last thing. So when we said the best of list, that's being done by Floor Weekly and these other places, right? But what I encourage Christina to do as PR manager is to create your own PR and make those comparisons and get that out and make it say about MSI what you want it to say about MSI. Say factually about everybody else, but make sure with MSI, what else do we want to say, right? That we're telling these people. And then, it should be mentioned top brands looking at, what people are asking. What's the leading brand? What's the best brand? That's the type of thing that needs to be discussed, and PR needs to be implemented as from the company. That would be my recommendation. Any other thoughts on that?
Oh, we can keep going.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So the brand mention step, develop leading brand content, articles, quotes, and luxury vinyl. Christina, submit into PR web, similar. Christina, submit to industry publications. Christina. Next, move on to the glossary pages. As mentioned, the glossary pages were done 10 years, at least 10 years ago and they haven't been touched since. But it's a good time to update the glossary pages with all the AI.
Bob, I remember this from our last meeting. So we do agree, and so we gonna talk about this internally, how we want to approach this, the categories we want to do first, how we want to set it up, key benefits, and think about the UI. So once we get all of that figured out, we'll circle back.
Well, we got to talk to the product merchants.
Yeah, because a lot of the terms, we have our terms like tile touch, and then we also have the industry terms. So we have to.
My recommendation is we start to them with TMP.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, because it's
we could do that later.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Natural stone is pretty much done, but
so I think we should who's gonna do this, Christina or Christina, or who's gonna work on it?
Probably
or whomever, but it's very simple. What are all the key terms in LPT?
Yeah.
See what that gives us. Then we can send it to our product team, see what they say. Are we missing anything?
Yeah.
That's probably a good way to start.
We get a list and then,
Yeah.
So there's some things we're thinking about as far as the structure, including like key benefits and application, not just a definition.
Correct.
So
right now it's just a definition.
Right. So we have to kind of comb through that a little bit more.
I think that's a good.
But we
Okay.
do agree, Bob. We do want to move forward with updating it, because also through competitive analysis, no one else is really doing it, so kind of will give us an advantage as well.
Yeah, and I think it's important, and so yeah, let me know, if I can assist. I guess my my goal with this is always I bring these projects and I love to do the work, but most importantly is I love to see them done. Like, okay, it's done. It has everything that it needs, right? And it's there, right? So it is a lot. It's complex, and sometimes those take a bulldog approach, like I like to call it. Just don't let go. It has to get it done. It's a not a light project. In other words, all the things that we're discussing, right? Even back to the PR, that type of stuff that we're just kind of getting it implemented and getting it out. And I'm happy to lead, follow, support, or stand aside, whichever. But just make sure we get it done. That would be my goal. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So that's what we have on that. With everything, then at the end, that we put anything together, then we want it to schema is something that we need a lot. We need a lot of schema work, which everyone just so it's something that we've been doing for MSI for years, and we have a lot of the site already has schema, but now that you have more capabilities in-house, there's a lot more schema, a lot more things that can be done, and there's a lot of SEO, in other words, and schema is, and just so everybody understands, it's not that complicated, but schema is a code that is on the back of the website. It's on the back end of the website, and it's going to get read by Google specifically, and that would be something that helps our ARO reviews and that sort of thing. So the site has significant amount of FAQ, significant amount of schema, but it also needs these types of specific schemas like FAQ, blogs. It's just so much that can be done. We could have 5 people doing SEO. You know what I mean? To do everything. It's a big job. So that is one thing I just wanted to mention while we're talking about schema. Okay. Let's see, anything else on this? Visuals are talking about for lens. These are all things that we would have to meet on and figure out, the things that we wanted to cover. But again, this one is a massive opportunity. It's a massive amount of work to pull together. So just it's pretty simple last time, but this is a lot of stuff going on this. Okay. But yeah, everything that we're talking about, all things, brands, everything we kind of went through today, even HubSpot, CRO, SEO. I think 10 by ROI is not even what kind of value that can be brought with these every item that we talked about here today can bring significant value to MSI. And last thing, did I make it in an hour? What time is it? I don't even know. So last thing is kind of talking about, it's exactly now. So talking to Vignesh and kind of just getting some of the details on, things that we want to work on getting the site health, AI search health, things that we can do. So we talked about, establishing the back-end updates that have already been done, alt tags, product schema, that sort of thing. Improving those, review things that we've already done, recent updates, discuss technical SEO needs, collection pages, glossary, content, etc. What available SEO tools is Vignesh using now? Make sure that that he has access, to what he needs, or curious what he's doing, and then just get us on the same page, understanding that we're all we're all on the same goal. So my goal is, as you all know, is just to make MSI be the leader in the industry, best at everything, and then lead as they've always done before, ahead of the market, right? And so that's what that would be our goal with everything, all the things discussed, and then the SEO implementation. Like I say, we have enough SEO to keep 5 guys busy. So to keep me and Vignesh is, we could definitely use some more help, but it's impossible to get it done. And once you get it done, then there's something else that needs to get done. It's a never-ending job. So, and that's kind of what I had. A team feedback, anything, thoughts, Vignesh? Anybody else?
Hey, Bob, yeah, thank you for doing this. We'll work with the team. We have some follow-up to do. We'll also have some discussions with Vignesh on especially this page, and then we'll come back and let you know where and how we can use you.
Okay, great. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. And then I'll look for that. I'll look for that request in the February 23rd week. And I can't think of anything else. Oh, we talked about, the ROAS. But I'll send the team a quick, everybody on the call, about the ROAS. And then the next thing, so as far as that, send an email regarding that. And then last thing, I did, as far as would be a step would be an SEO meeting with Vignesh and I after you have your discussion, to figure out these things on the page like you mentioned, Al. So and kind of going through what plans are, that sort of thing.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. We got to run to another meeting. Thank you.
All right. No problem. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Bob.
Bye. Thanks, Vignesh.
Thank you.